Hello, welcome to another edition of Witchfinder's Gaming Vault, and today I'm going to be looking at a game from one of the big boys of retro gaming consoles. It's the Neo Geo AES, and the game I'm going to be looking at is Blues Journey, which is in a box so big I can barely fit it on the screen. So let's take a look at the fact file for Blues Journey. Blues Journey, also known as Raguy in Japan, was released in 1990, and the version I'm looking at is the US version. It was published and developed by Alpha Denshi Corporation. The price I paid for the game back when you could get a Neo Geo game for a reasonable price was just £11.49, which I have to say was probably a bargain even then. Nowadays the going rate for this game on eBay is £150 plus, which is a crazy amount of money. I certainly wouldn't be buying any Neo Geo games nowadays. So those were the facts about Blues Journey. Let's now take a look at the packaging and the game and see if it's worth that crazy asking price on eBay. So obviously the box for this game is huge because the cartridge within it is huge. So let's take a look at it. Firstly, the artwork on the front cover, pretty colourful, reasonably nice, sort of Japanese styling. Obviously it's a little bit cheesy in places. I mean, what is going on here with this character on the broomstick here? It's not the best artwork, to be perfectly honest. At the bottom it says Blues Journey in a colourful bit of text, and you've also got the Neo Geo logo in the bottom right hand corner there. So moving on to the spine, that same logo for Blues Journey and the Neo Geo, and also the Alpha logo at the bottom there as well. And then on the back it says Defeat the Empire. It's got a few screenshots, although it has to be said that a couple of the screenshots are more like cutscene screenshots than actual in-game ones, I think. Certainly that one there. That one's an in-game one, I think, and that one, yeah, probably is as well. Anyway, so it says the planet Raguy is a beautiful star which many strange but wonderful creatures live in total harmony. So is it a planet or a star? I don't know. Then came the invasion of the Daruma Empire. They brought with them the industrialization which was all but consumed their own planet and is now polluting Raguy beyond environmental repair. So a bit of an eco-friendly sort of theme to it, perhaps. One young man named Blue has risen up to combat the evil empire to save his planet. He'll use all his magic leaves to free his people from what is sure to be environmental destruction. Guide Blue through this challenging fantasy game. The justification of the text on this is pretty poor, and also, why is the word what suddenly capitalised amongst all that text as well? Very strange. But anyway, yeah, it's a bit ropey looking on the back cover, it has to be said, for a game that probably cost like $100 even back then. So it says explanation of play. You've got the controller select button, it says is not used, which is a lie because you can use it to pause. Start button is unsurprisingly to start the game. The joystick is used for movement of the hero, and then for the A button it says used for cancellation of each mode such as attack and demo. Well, yeah, that's probably true on the title screen, but in-game I think you actually do use it for attacking, so a bit of a strange way of describing what the A button does there. You then got the B button for jumping, the C button for changing the size of the hero, and the D button on this game is not used. It also mentions that you can use the memory card to save your game, and a bit of information at the bottom there which I'm not going to go into. SNK Corporation, it says at the bottom there. It's very light on the fact that it's actually made by Alpha Denshi rather than SNK. It's only really got that Alpha logo on the spine, and it doesn't really mention them anywhere else. So there you go, that's the cover of the game. Let's now take a look at the instructions and also the cartridge. So here's the reason that that box is massive, and it's because the cartridge within it is massive. There's the massive Neo Geo AES cartridge with the Blues Journey label on it. I don't really know why it says Blues Journey in sort of square brackets on the top there, but it's also got the same picture that was on the front of the box as well. So that's pretty much it. It's otherwise just a black cartridge. Let's move on to the instructions, which are very strangely given a sort of blue hue. You can see there is some colour there on the image on the front, but I don't think it's faded. I think it's just designed that way. It's a bit strange. It got the Alpha Denshi logo in the corner there again. Let's get into the instructions themselves. Firstly, it says Blue never allows invaders to destroy Raguy's nature. That's good of him. So yeah, Blues Journey. So we've got the contents, we can skip past that I think. It's got a prologue. I'm not going to read all that, but it basically gives you an overview of what the planet Raguy is all about, and also the Daruma Empire are invading it and bringing their nasty industrialised stuff to this lovely natural world. There's also a beautiful princess who I imagine is going to have to be rescued in this game, because that's basically what the plot of most 80s platform games were. So then you've got a look at some of the characters. You can see that it can be played two simultaneous players. If so, then the first player is Blue and the second player is Shadow Blue, who's actually green in the game. And there's also mention of Princess Far, Emperor Daruma is the big bad guy, and Rhett is Blue's rival who took second place at the Magic Festival and is very suspicious. Don't know how he factors into the game. It then moves on to tell you about how to start the game and things like that. It says that the second player can drop in at any point, so it does support the simultaneous 2 players, as I mentioned. The options, you've got change size, which basically means when Blue's half his normal size, he can jump further, but he can't attack, but he also can run faster, so that comes into play at various points, I imagine. You've got the attack button. You can throw enemies horizontally, vertically when they're overturned, so you can pick up and throw enemies. You can ride on an enemy's head. You can make him slide and use him as a weapon, so a bit of variety there. That's just a repeat of the controls, and as you can see on the inside it does say that the A button's the attack button rather than all that nonsense about cancelling things that it said on the back. We then got memory card, so you can, if you've got a memory card, which I do happen to have for the Neo Geo, you could save your game on the home console and then go and load it into the arcade machine and continue your game if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because if you've got it at home, why would you spend any money on it in the arcade? Only to show off, I guess. So then got an overview of the screen display with lots of information there. You've got a number of heroes, score, life, playing time, money and items. And then there's a bunch of information about power-ups. So you've got leaves, ferns, nectar, peaches, cocoons, bamboo shoots and cabbage. When you pick up a cabbage, all enemies will turn into flowers. So moving on, we've also got special weapons. You can pick up bombs and boomerangs, for example. Each weapon has its advantages and disadvantages. And you've also got a shop, so at various points throughout the game you can enter a shop and buy items. Here's a few of the items that you can pick up, including spikes, foot fins and a light metal safe. Save you 1 life, apparently. It does say Shull, who is the woman who owns the shop, is a tough businesswoman, so shop quickly or you may be kicked out of the shop. It's not a very good businesswoman if she's kicking people out before they've finished spending. You've then got an overview of the different areas. So we've got the jungle of Jammo, the underground empire of Korea, I don't know how you say that, let's say Korea, even though it's not Korea as in the country Korea. It shows you the bosses for each area. You've got the swamp empire of Shaburn, the mechanical city of Bakin, and various other areas, including the final area, which is unsurprisingly the Daruma Empire, where no doubt you have to face the Emperor to complete the game. And finally, on the back, we've got a little bit more information about what you should and shouldn't do with this particular cartridge, and the memory card precautions for putting the memory card in and out of the console. So there we go, that's the instructions for Blue's Journey. Let's insert the cartridge and play the game. So there was the famous Neo Geo boot up sequence and a bit of copyright information or trademark or whatever, and as you can see, as the game has started up with the attract mode, the writing's all in Japanese, and that's because although it's the American version of the cartridge, my console has got a Japanese BIOS, so it's actually looking like the Japanese version even though it's actually the US version in terms of the stickers and inlay and all that kind of stuff. So here's the introduction, basically some talk between Blue and his enemy, the Emperor of wherever it was, and as you can see on the title screen it says Raguy rather than Blue's Journey for the same reasons I've just described. And then it goes into a little demo of the game, which, as I've already talked about in the instructions, you can play it 2 simultaneous players, and you can see them there, Blue and Shadow Blue, who's actually green. So it shows you some of the gameplay mechanics in terms of the fact that you can be a big or small character, you can jump on characters and do things, and then it goes to a nice cloudy high score table, tells you about some of the items and things like that. I think we've seen enough of the attract mode. Let's get the game started. So you get the traditional thing that you get with most Neo Geo games, the how to play thing. So it shows you to use the joystick to move. There's a button for making Blue bigger and smaller, that's button C. There's a jump button, which is button B, and also an attack button, which is button A. And then we get on to round 1, so I'll show the buttons in action. There's the attack one. As mentioned, you can pick up enemies and throw them. You do that with the A button as well. B jumps, and as I've already said, C makes you small, and when you're smaller you can jump higher and further, but you can't fire or use any kind of attacks. So that does serve a purpose in some places in the game, which we'll get onto. Ooh. I've powered up my weird sort of plant hammer thing. I don't really know how I'd describe it in any other way. It's a plant hammer that you attack the enemies with. So as I said, you can pick enemies up, throw them at the other enemies there. You see, this I would say is the closest you'll get to a Mario style game on the Neo Geo. Obviously the Neo Geo was very much geared towards the arcades, and as such most of the games are arcade style games which are sort of geared towards you spending a lot of credits, but this is a bit more of a forgiving platformer and more of a Mario style game with some adventuring as well. So I've gone into a shop here and I can buy an item, and as you can see I can buy a boat, and it's either a 10 flowers boat or a 5 flowers boat. So I'm going to buy the 10 flowers one. I've already collected 13 flowers. That's your currency effectively. Oh, I don't know what's happened, he's chucked me out. Okay, oh dear, well that's not good news. So I haven't bought any boats because I've waited around too long. Never mind. The idea was you buy this boat so you can cross this lake here, but you can also do it by jumping on this vine and then jumping over to this platform. You don't actually therefore need to buy the boat at all, but I wanted to show the boat in action, but I left it too late. So here's a place where being little blue helps, because you couldn't get into this corridor without being him, so that just shows you what that there is certain areas of the game where being the smaller version is beneficial, even though you haven't got any weapons. And also you can drop down this hole here, which is again, you have to be small blue to do this. Very Mario style, dropping into a secret area. Not that secret, it was pretty obvious it was there, but all the same. So yeah, as blue you can run around, and also there's a few areas I think where you can, when you're large size, you can hit the ground and reveal certain hidden items, although, oh dear, oh yeah, there's one there but I can't go back and get that, so let's just get out of here. So moving on, we've got another enemy coming towards me, so let's just get rid of him. Another swinging vine. Oh, there's something to collect at the top there. I can't get to that now. So yeah, now I've powered up the weapon again. I've got bombs. Oops. Oh yeah, you can jump on top of enemies as well. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. No, that's gone really badly and I've lost a life. There are some enemies it's going to be easier to do that with than others, and this guy's one of them. So yeah, you can jump on him and then you can sort of send him off one way to kill other enemies. I don't think that serves a great deal of purpose, to be really honest. It's easier just to hit them and get rid of them. Oh, a shop coming up, so I've got 50 flowers now in fact. Let's just blow that up first. Enemies do respawn, which can make it a bit annoying. So yeah, here I am in the shop. I'll be a bit quicker this time. There's a bunch of items you can buy. So I'm going to buy, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to buy that. Unfortunately, because it's in Japanese, I don't know what these things are. But I've got 20 left, so I'll buy one of those as well. I think that saves you a life or something like that. Still got 20 left, so let's buy that thing as well. Yeah, I powered up some stuff. I don't really know what I powered up, but there we go. Oh, I've got hit by a boulder. Bit sneaky there. Oh, and now I've got the power up, which makes you really big, so you can just run into enemies. There's a bit of an element of Wonder Boy to this as well, I would say. Some of the power ups are that kind of power up where you just get a sort of speed up thing and invulnerability, so you can dash after stuff and just blow it up. So here's a little bit of a tricky bit where you've got to jump when these swinging vines are at the highest level, otherwise you're going to get hit. Wasn't too difficult really. Ooh, got hit again. And again. And lost another life. This is not going particularly well. Did thankfully get quite near to the end there. Oh yeah, so there's a bad guy here that you have to throw these things at. So it's not a full-on boss, but he keeps throwing these things at you. You have to knock them out, pick them up and throw them back at him. There we go, I've got him now. That allows me to continue on to the end of the stage. Pick up that flower first. And yeah, much like Mario, the higher up you jump on that, the more points you get, just like Mario jumping on the flag. So that's the end of the first level. You get the usual bonuses at the end of the level, and then you move on to round 2, which is more of the same. So let's talk about graphics and sound and things like that. So graphics, well, the Neo Geo's sort of renowned for the big huge sprites and throwing a lot of sprites around, and this game doesn't really showcase that particularly well. They're quite simplistic. You know, any 16-bit console of the era could have done these graphics. So in that respect, it's not that impressive, but they're nicely drawn. Lots of colour, lots of animation in the background. This level a little bit reminds me of Ghouls and Ghosts, where you're running against the wind in certain places. So that's a nice feature. There's lots of, obviously, it's got a bit of an eco-friendly theme, this game. So there's a bit of kind of you know, kind of natural environment kind of stuff is what I'm trying to say. Not very well. Oh, that guy's killed me again, and I think that's probably game over. So luckily you can continue where you left off. And I think the game's got unlimited continues, which is handy because I'm not very good at it. It's not the hardest game on the Neo Geo by any means, but it's certainly not easy either, and that sort of reflects the fact that it's meant to be an arcade game. Oh dear, that's not gone well. Wow, that was a very quick loss of a life. So this is the first boss of the first stage. So the idea is, much like that earlier boss, you've got to hit the things he throws at you, pick them up and throw them back at him, and try and stay out of his way. It's not too difficult, although it does get more hard as he throws more of them at you. But that, of course, also gives you more ammunition. And there we go. That's the end of that round. So then you get a little sort of bonus thing where you get to pull one of these levers. Yeah, I think it's 10. You're basically gambling 10 flowers to play it to see what you get. So you pull one of these and I win. I don't know what that is. Oh, an extra 1-up, an extra life, perhaps that was. And then you get to choose where you go next. So you can go to the volcano area or this sort of nice green area. I'm going to go to the volcano area. So here we go, again more of the same. These enemies crop up a lot and they're just the basic sort of easy to kill enemies. Oh, I've got all kinds of power-ups there. Oh, the swooping little flying things are annoying. They do get you a lot. Oh, hang on, there's a chance for a secret area there if I can knock this thing. Oh, might need to be the small one for this. There we go. So yeah, I've accessed another secret area. That one was a little bit more secret than the previous one. Yeah, I did look at what all these power-ups were when I was looking at the instructions, but I've already forgotten what they are. But this bit is interesting because you have to be small size on this one to get over this gap. Otherwise, if you're big size, you just fall into the... oh, that's annoying. You don't get much time in these secret areas. Oh, I get to collect everything again though. See if we can do it a bit quicker this time. Yeah, so you need to be small size to get over into that hole, otherwise you fall down into the lava. Oh god, yeah, let's just get out of there before I lose another life. Right, I've got bombs again. That's probably a good thing because they do a lot more damage, unsurprisingly. Okay, so another shop here, is it? Something for 5 flowers, so I'm going to get a random item by the looks of it, perhaps. I don't know what he's asking me, so I'm just saying yes. Obviously, don't know a lot of Japanese. Speeding up something there. And we've got some platforms to jump over, some volcanoes. Yeah, that was inevitable, wasn't it? So these graphics on this level, by the way, more colourful, very psychedelic. And I did it again. Should really be watching what these... yeah, that's another continue. Should really be watching what these volcanoes are doing, because they quite clearly spew towards you first, then away from you. So if you just take your time... Oh, well, that didn't work either, did it? Okay, maybe that doesn't work. They actually spew towards you by the looks of it. There we go, that was better. So yeah, that bit reminds me quite a bit of Wonder Boy, as does this level in general, although Wonder Boy didn't have any giant jellies or whatever the hell's in the background there. Ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, this is an interesting, I mean, it's like a big prawn. What am I doing? What's going on here? I can't pick that up. Oh, okay, you've got to crouch down to pick it up. Yeah, that's there must be other platform games that use that mechanic of killing enemies and picking them up and throwing them, but I can't think of what game it is at the moment, so if you can, then let me know in the video comments. So here's an annoying enemy. I don't know what's going on with this. I imagine I probably need to throw those things I was picking up down here at it. So I can pick all those up and then throw them in. There we go, yeah. So yeah, there's a few interesting mechanics in it. Like I say, it's quite generic, you know, sort of copying games like Mario. Oh, every time with these bloody volcano things spewing lava at me. Maybe I need to be the small version and then I can jump further. Let's try that. Oh, then I've hit that thing and fallen in the lava. That was just disastrous. It is quite a tough game, and I think the reactions of the controls are a little bit slow at times, so as a result you do sometimes make mistakes. Okay, this is going better. Yeah, you just basically got to go when the lava's stopped spewing. Is this the answer, really? Oh, got me again. So yeah, quite a lot of variety of enemies, which makes it quite challenging. Lots of power-ups and things like that, and I've reached the end of the level, so let's carry on. I haven't really talked about the sound yet. Again, it's not the Neo Geo at its finest, I would say. It's got a reasonably jolly background tune playing, and sound effects are alright, typical sort of platformer sound effects. It's not the most technologically or technically impressive game on the Neo Geo by any means, but it is quite unique in that it's like a Mario style platformer, and the only one that I can think of on the system. So if you want a game like that on the Neo Geo and you're willing to pay the money for it, then this is probably the one. I did ask the question before I started this video about whether it's worth the current asking price of about £150. Well, no, it's not, is it, obviously? But no Neo Geo games are cheap, so if you want to get any Neo Geo AES games in particular, then you're going to have to pay the price, unfortunately. If you want a cheaper version, then the best option is to get the MVS, a consoleized MVS, because the cartridges for the arcade version are a lot cheaper, or get the Neo Geo thing that was released a few years ago, the Neo Geo Gold, was it called? I don't know, but the plug and play thing basically that had most of the games included. Okay, so it seems like now I can pay to go to different areas, except I've been too slow and got thrown out again. That's a bit of an annoying thing. I mean, why not just let you have the choice? So yeah, I'm just going to drop down here and hope it's, oh, it is lava, of course it is. I should have guessed that, really. Let's try that again with little blue. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button. This is terrible. If you've seen from the last video, I've been on holiday for a couple of weeks, so I haven't played any games for a while, and it kind of shows because I'm not really making a very good job of this. So I'll probably round it up fairly soon. But let's try and at least get off this stage and see the next end of level boss. What's going on here then? I can't kill that guy. That was a very quick loss of a credit. Let's just jump over him. Oh yeah, let's just jump over him and ignore him. I ain't got time for him. I probably needed to find another enemy and throw another enemy at him, to be honest. Oh, where have you come from? And that's another life gone. Yeah, it's pretty hard. But because you've got unlimited credits, you don't really need to worry about playing the game properly that much. Oh, we've got a swimming section here, that's new. I've not got this far in the game before. Oh, so it's It's underwater, but you can also walk along the ground. But yeah, okay, so you use the jump button to actually go up in the water. You can't actually move around to swim. I think it's probably just left and right with the joystick, to be fair, so that's fair enough. So yeah, there's quite cute enemies here, some snails. I'm assuming I'm not going to run out of air, but it doesn't tell me one way or another. Can't remember what collecting those flowers gives you, but something better than the normal flowers, I presume. So yeah, throwing bombs underwater, not sure that really works, does it? But there we go. There goes another life. I'd like to get to the end of this level and just see what the boss is like for this one. And then we'll round it off, I think. Okay, this must be the end, so I'm going to get to a boss soon, I think. Okay, so I'm on level 3, it appears. Yeah, and I'm in the trees now. Oh, okay, that's new. So these things split into little ones, and there goes another life. It's really quite a hard game. Go on. This is going to be the last credit now, whether I get to the boss or not. I'm in uncharted territory here. Okay, we've got moving platforms. Again, it's all drawn nice, it's nice and colourful. It's your typical 16-bit platformer, really, isn't it? There's nothing special about it particularly. It's just, you know, run along, kill the enemies, access a few secret areas, fight the bosses, and on you go kind of thing. There's nothing outstanding about it, but it's fun if you like these kind of games, which I do, generally speaking. So while it's not the best in its genre, it is the best of this kind of platformer on the Neo Geo, because, as I've mentioned, it's the only one. Oh yeah, I can drop on these guys, can't I? So maybe I could drop on him, and then yeah, there we go. That's what you do with... Oh, he comes back to you though. Okay, so you got to be careful with that. Yeah. Let's see what we've got. Oh no, I can't get in there now. That's a shame. This looks like I'm going to be in trouble now, because how am I going to get across there? Oh, I just made it. Keep forgetting about being the little guy, which helps you out. Oh, okay, something's freezing me now, perhaps? Yeah, this wizard's freezing me. Got the wizard? There he is. I think I'm just going to ignore him and move on. I don't think I have to kill him. Oh, ooh, okay. Oh. Yeah, getting a bit annoyed with it now. Like I say, a bit out of practice from being on holiday and not playing many games for a couple of weeks, so also been a bit under the weather at times. I've had toothache this week, in fact, so that didn't help either. So apologies for the terrible gameplay, but I'm just getting killed over and over again here. So I think I'll probably call it a day after this credit. Oh, go away. Oh wow, this is challenging. Yeah, and I think that's game over now, and I think we'll leave it at that. So you can't accelerate the countdown, so I'll just let it count down and talk about it a little bit more just to round it up. As I said, pretty reasonable platform game for the 16-bit era. It's not doing anything special for the Neo Geo specifically. It's very much, it could have been a Mega Drive or SNES game quite easily, and it's reasonably fun. It's got a few interesting gameplay mechanics. The picking up enemies and throwing them to kill other enemies, the being big or small to navigate through certain areas. That's reasonably original for its time, although those mechanics have been used many times since, I imagine. So yeah, overall it's quite a fun game. I'm definitely not going to sell it. I'm going to keep it because it only cost me like 12 quid or something like that. Here you can choose whether to save to the memory card or not, which I'm not going to do because I don't really care that much. But yeah, so yeah, I'm obviously going to keep it. If I did sell it, then clearly I can make like 10 times more than I bought it for, by selling it, but it's a good enough game to keep. I've not got many Neo Geo AES games anymore because I've got an MVS arcade machine as well, so I've got most of the games on that. I just kept the ones that were more console-like rather than arcade-like for the console. So yeah, there we go, that's another game review completed. If you've got any thoughts about Blues Journey, then let me know in the video comments. That brings another game review to an end then, and that means it's time for me to pick a game out of this tin at random for next time around. So let's see what we draw out. There's not too many games left in here. I'm going to have to refresh the pot at some point in the near future. So next time around I'm going to be playing a bit of an interesting one. It's a PC Engine game and not an official one. It's called Street Fighter 2, and we'll look at that in more detail next time around. Until then, thanks very much for watching this video, and see you next time.